Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Khloe Kardashian, you are on a revenge tour. You're talking about the way everybody made you feel bad when they questioned your paternity, the way everybody made you feel bad when they said, oh my God, somebody called her fat. And don't get me wrong, that's one of the most messed up rumors out there that Khloe is in fact not Rob Kardashian's child, right? About like rumors about like, oh, what is it? Khloe's fat, Khloe's this, Khloe's that. And I get it. And she's talking about the way it made her feel and this and that. And I literally had to scratch my head and said, something is really wrong with Khloe. It's weird to want to have this martyr thing so much because are you going to get an apology from your mama that made it a storyline? Because that's how I found out about the rumors that made it a storyline that Rob Kardashian wasn't your pop father. Are you going to ask for an apology from Caitlyn and your mama that made it a storyline that you were too heavy to pose for Playboy and needed to lose weight? Are you going to add a storyline when Kim literally tried to Mike Tyson you off of his seat because you dared touch her bag with your dirty little fingers? Again, I get it, but let me just say this. Khloe got a GD nerve, and I don't care. I am never going to let up with Khloe because you can acknowledge how, and again, the self-centeredness, and this is why I think her and Tristan are actually the same person, right? The self-centeredness that you can acknowledge how these people saying this about you hurt so bad. But then you turned around when you had a surrogate, right? You turned around when you had a surrogate and you literally disrespected your own son. You said you made them take 3 paternity tests on the little boy because you weren't sure. You were sure that he couldn't have been Tristan's and couldn't have been yours because he didn't look like either one of you. You were the one that said that you didn't even name him. You name a dog for the first week he comes home. That you didn't even name her for 8 or 9 months because you couldn't even name him for 8 or 9 months because you couldn't even think of a name. How about Tristan's Irish trends? Anyway, right? And you also even said, and let me just be clear, did you not even say that when the surrogate went into labor, you didn't even show up to get your baby and the doctor had to take over? You guys, this is prime Khloe Kardashian. This is why I will never let up. Khloe is a deeply selfish, self-absorbed person. And yeah, she might write out for her sisters and her dogs, right? If you ain't one of my bitches, you a bitch in my way. But you don't get points for caring about people that you actually love and care about. You give points for caring about people that you don't get anything from. See, she didn't get anything from, what's his name? Tatum being born. You didn't get anything from that. She hides behind religious scripture. She hides behind this. She hides behind, and prosperity gospel. But it's a deeply, deeply dark soul. Listen to what Miss I would never in a million years. No, what they did to me was so rude. Look what she did to her son. This is also on a whole season when she went around making surrogate jokes and about test tube baby jokes. She said, Khloe Kardashian said she didn't name Tatum for 8 months and admits the doctor cared for her son when he was born. Get into this, right? And this is out of Khloe's own mouth. So Tatum's a little different story. I like unique names, but not off the wall names. I think our family has enough off the wall names. And I was listening like, okay. She explained why she struggled to decide on Tatum's name for so long. I would try different names at first, but none of them I liked. And then Tatum but we would always call him baby or call him Papa all the time. So Papa was a lot that I would use. And that was tough for me naming him because it's interesting because I didn't carry him. I didn't feel anything. She further shared how different she felt. She further shared how different she felt with Tatum's birth as opposed to True's birth. So she's already creating this weird rivalry. She said when she was with True, she probably praying Tristan would come home. She talked to her, why isn't your daddy here? She did all this stuff. So she said she felt True's soul. But with Tatum, she didn't feel anything. It was nothing, okay? She reflected she was so disconnected from him. Okay. First of all, Khloe, okay, maybe she felt true soul. I don't know, but I don't know, right? Uh, she said, with True, I could feel things about her, or I would pray at night. I would pray and we'd have our conversations. And I don't know. I just felt True's spirit. It was weird and kooky. She then reflected on how disconnected she felt from Tatum when he was born, when he was actually born. Listen to this. She also said that she felt cheated from surrogacy because she was mad because why didn't people tell her that when the surrogate is born, the child's born, you don't feel nothing? And I think Kim was looking at her like, I don't know what you're talking about. When the baby was born, I embraced Chai. I embraced Saint. She said, I think it's such an incredible blessing that we have this option. I'm so grateful for the women out there who are giving up their bodies to carry someone else's baby, to then give it back to their mother. It's such a beautiful thing. It's grace. However, she said that when she found out Tatum was being born, she had a mental breakdown. She said she was crying hysterically after learning the surrogate went into labor early and she couldn't spend a final girls' weekend with True. She didn't explain why the waterworks came. She said it wasn't even about that weekend. It was about, now this is real. She said, however, the doctor assured her that the baby had to be delivered quickly due to the surrogate having no fluid in the sac. Now listen to this. This is Khloe, the girl saying, how dare you question my lineage? Concerned over Khloe's reaction, that's how bad it is. The doctor was like, should you get the baby? Her doctor even offered to care for the baby until the revenge body alone was ready to take over. The doctor said, you know what? I'll deliver the baby. I'll take the baby. And you let me know when you're ready to pick him up. And I was like, what? I'm like, who does this? Who even offers that? And she did. The doctor took care of the baby. And then again, she also went on to say that she was thrown off by the way Tristan didn't look like her, or what's his name? Tristan. Tatum didn't look like her or Tristan. Why? Because Tatum looked like her. And she went on to have 3 paternity tests to make sure that Tatum was in fact her actual kid. Inside. You guys, listen, this is wild. This is crazy. This is altogether kooky. But I really do wonder for someone's sanity where you can acknowledge how rumors of your paternity, rumors about being unloved, unwanted, feeling like the ugly duckling, feeling like the one that doesn't fit in because you don't look like the rest of your siblings. How does all this shape so much of you? And then on your huge flat platforms with millions of people, you share these ugly, twisted thoughts about your son. And don't you say, oh, she's not being real. She is not being real. Nobody had to know that she was so disconnected from him for the first 9 months. She barely spent time with him, didn't want to touch him, and didn't want to name him. As a matter of fact, the only reason she even named that boy is because Kris, being the marketing genius she is, looked at Tatum and said, oh my God, he looks just like Rob. And Khloe was like, what? And she's like, baby Rob. Because Khloe now has pride in Tatum because she thinks that Tatum proves that she's a Kardashian because Tatum looks like Robert Jr. and Robert Sr. Kardashian, to which I'm like, what are you talking about? Dream looks like Robert Sr. and Robert Jr. Kardashian. Tatum looks like Khloe, and Rob looks like Khloe because they have the same mom and dad, I guess, right? This isn't about Khloe's lineage. This is about Khloe just being so two-faced, so insufferable, so like, what are we doing? That it just, oh God. That's why I will never feel sorry for Khloe, because at the end of the day, every single problem she has, she brought it on herself. And she even literally made Tatum being unloved and unwanted. And she just admitted to us that it caused her so much pain. You did the same thing to your newborn son, all because you didn't want to make your season about how Tristan is the devil, because then no matter what happens, you got to make Tristan feel like the man. Y'all, there's so much to unpack. We don't have any more time. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. You think I'm being too harsh on Khloe? I don't. Baby, I stand with Tatum and the way he's going to write a tell-all about it when he's 20. I'm just saying.